What is up, YouTube? We're back on podcast. We're going to be talking about regionals. I didn't go. Stefan went. Stefan didn't end up signing up though, right?
What was that again?
I said you didn't end up signing up, right? Like,
Correct. I did not sign up. Got tilted. Some things happened. Tilting was real. But I did most of the reporting or took notes and stuff on one of our friend AJ's Dino deck and how he was doing throughout the whole event.
yeah. Speaking of which, the Dino deck that you see in front of you is in fact the deck that he got 12th place with. I am not qualified to go over some of the combos and everything, but uh I can just kind of go over the card by card, and I can't tell you the thought process really because AJ's not here with us, and he kind of came up with this deck on his own. But I have played like a couple hands, so I kind of understand. Frostosaurus is specifically to summon off of Meteorus to go into one of the rank sixes. Like the Transcendosaurus is to recycle the Miscellaneous to use for next turn, or if you don't think you really matters, the Evils or Lars to just have an extra negate. Ultimate Conductor needs no introduction. Dogoran, uh, Dino Wrestler, Pinkertops, good Vista Starfrost. Uh, Vistas can pop some of the babies and get your plays going. Dino is also, as I mentioned earlier, it can go into rank sixes, or you can make Baron with it, or the Sword Soul Synchro. Rex is kind of a normal and dinosaurs. Miscellaneous Saurus also pretty normal. OV. The Scareclaw package, because you can go Visas into the Scareclaw link and search for Reichart, which gets a monster reborn for Visas to make a 10, or to uh or to 4 plays after that. The 3 Babysaurus, the 3 Petrodon, Dino Wrestler, one of the Dino Wrestlers that will Ocelot.
The level 2.
Yeah, the level 2 tuner. It's mainly because it's a free summon. Uh, Droll and Lock, because Droll and Lock is not just in general. Anodon, Archosaur, the Pill, Fossil Dig, Ground Xenos, multiple search cards, 2 Monster Reborns, All World, called by the Scareclaw Field Spell, the Stadium Triple Imperm, and then Counter Trap. And then we got some stuff like Vicious Astroloud, Shangling, Sword Soul Supreme, Baron, Jesus, Synchro, Vanadium level 6 Synchro, Transcendosaurus Drake, the 2 rank 6s I talked about earlier, Evilsaur Lagian Dolka, of course, Dweller, Appaloosa, SP Little Knight, Frost Sheep, Scareclaw, Lightheart, and of course, Revo. This deck is pretty cool. From the few hands I played with it, the only issues I really ran into is actually field space. So I think the deck is pretty good, and I understand how he topped and where he was
I can explain it a bit more in detail to you. So the deck idea actually came, if I remember right, he was playing, I want to say he was playing one of the synchros that can recycle things, if I remember right. I don't remember which synchro that is in there, but then his brain went to immediately, what if I ran a heavier package of this and that? And eventually it turned into this current deck that we have right here. My favorite part about this is his whole idea was I need to win the die roll and go first, which is completely opposite of his usual play style. Like his usual play style is go second, I'll break your board and I'll deal with it. But this one was I have to win the die roll. He only lost the die roll once that whole tournament. Um, so good luck on, or pretty impressive on that front. The other point of the deck was he would always recycle the miscellaneous, right? Because his whole goal was negate what they do, and we're going to be playing turn 3. So the whole idea was don't over gas your whole entire deck and make it where you can't play turn 3 or further. He was forcing almost the grind game by controlling you to that point. So there's that when you consider, like you say, there's like issues of field space, and that's because you're not supposed to. Not all the time are you supposed to gas out completely in this deck. You're actually supposed to you're supposed to be playing to turn 3, and also the deck has so much gasoline and everything like that, and all those plays and space issues like that, because he expected he was going to get drawn locked, ash blossomed. He was expecting he was going to hit every single hand trap in the format, and he just had to get to the next step of the whole entire deck, and just play around this. The whole entire deck itself is effectively, the theory is, and this is just me speculating, I can play through an Ash Blossom now. He got drolled multiple times and was still able to play through it. And all the combo lines that he did, which there was a lot of them, and it was hard for me to keep up with it. He had to pretty much create his own lines to get to those points. But most of the time, he was also playing, like, his turns on average were maybe 3 to 4 minutes. And he would be doing every single little combo thing he can with opponent interaction. And his average number that I kind of calculated off the top of my head was at 3 to 4 minute turns, which is, for a combo deck like this, pretty impressive.
Yeah,
And to do that for 8 rounds and keep going like that was interesting.
yeah, sounds pretty impressive. And from what I heard, because I didn't end up going for lots of reasons, but uh, it does sound interesting, and I'm glad he topped. So congratulations on 12th place, the 12th place finish, AJ. If you're listening, got some other news though. The Dragon Rulers are back on Master Duel, and they're not good. I tried like old school Dragon Rulers where you're just playing the rulers, you're playing the babies, you're trying to do all these cool plays with the making rank 7s and stuff like that, and man, they just can't compete with what's going on in like the current meta in Master Duel. You run into Kashtira, and then that deck is just gonna stomp you, and it's like the one of the most one-sided fights I think I've ever.
Oh, that's rough.
Yeah, Fenrir alone shuts down that deck so hard. But there's not enough big names for it to really, for it not to matter if you get like Tidal or Redox banned. But yeah, it
Yeah, I think you're pretty good.
it's pretty rough. I think that it is a good indication though that like they could come back to the TCG because the TCG is way more powerful than Master Duel is. Um, but maybe that's just my opinion. I don't know that. I guess if it got to that point where they came to TCG, I think more people would be willing to like try and experiment with them. So and then Master Duel. So maybe someone would. Because right now, I think Master Duel would be like the best shot because they have Galaxy Tomahawk, but even then, it's not enough.
Oh yeah, they do have the tomahawk. That's crazy.
Yeah, so you could go into some crazy link plays and stuff like that. But what's wild, and both formats of Master Duel and the TCG have 3 super rejuvenation. Still not. The deck also doesn't like Max C one bit, so it's not. It's really an uphill battle because rank sevens outside of like a couple of them just literally don't do anything or don't do it. But I will say it is really funny to watch people when you're playing Dragon Rollers and they don't stop you, or if they do stop you, they stop you uh enough or whatever that you have to, or you get like a good, really crazy hand. It is really funny when you make Kashtira a Rise Heart the natural way with 3 level 7s instead of just throwing it on top of a Kashtira just like Kashtira usually does.
Oh my god, that's it. That what?
Yeah,
You can make it the way God intended, huh?
yeah, it's only 3 level 7s, which Dragon Rulers are pretty good at getting level 7s out, especially if you have like a very small Kashtira package. Like I have Fenrir's and Kashtira Tier Lament, but like, yeah, it is really funny to make it the natural way. Uh, but I guess moving on. Oh yeah. Also with Master Duel, Zodiac stuff came back. I don't think it's gonna do much, but that's just something I guess too. The 2 decks that were considered tier one for Dragon Rollers, borderline tier 0. And then an actual tier 0 deck, Zoo, are slowly coming back. The only exception is that like they still only got 1 rat.
The rat makes the whole deck go for
1 rat and 3 barrages. Need at least 2 rats to cover. Sorry, eating soup.
yeah, I figured as much. And I think you might be speaking a little too loud for your microphone because Discord loves to chop up your voice.
Speaking
I think you are peaking a bit.
kind of wild because Discord is picking up mic on. Because the Discord is dumb and like do that, but we'll have to check if this episode is scuffed.
Yeah.
All right.
A more natural way with Janky.
Yeah. On to some cards called Synchro Pan.
I
It's use trap card. Activate only or destroy this card after the 3rd standby phase. After activate this card only if your face up synchro is destroyed by battle or an opponent's card effect by targeting one of them. Special summon 1 tuner and any number of non-tuners from your grave whose total level equal that monster. Special summoned monsters cannot be destroyed by battle. Card effect this turn. And then the second effect is neither player can synchro summon. So it's a floodgate for synchro summonings. And it also recovers your tuner monsters, I guess, for I the best case scenario would be, I guess, to just use it for that second effect. In a very like synchro dominant meta, if that ever happens again. You can flip this up, I guess. But I feel like there's better cards to just shut out the opponent.
yeah, just synchro, and opponent don't get to play unless they did before you did all your guessing.
You're just spouting stuff, huh? Because I was talking. Yeah. Yeah, I guess Nib is a big thing that you'd have to kind of play. but I was more focused on the like
I
either player
I
can.
might I was spouting off. Yeah, but I was just really.
Yeah, because it's a continuous. It's
So
a
I just
floodgate, so pretty much. All right, moving on. The new cards, new card listening to new cards was never your forte anyway.
no, never have been.
So, sacrifice level up is the next card. It's a normal spell. Activate one card with this card's name per turn. Target NXCs you control banish two of its material, and if you special summon from your extra deck one Xyz monster that's one rank higher than that monster, but it can't attack. This card is terrible. Uh, I'm just gonna say this card is awful. It's kind of cool that it's a rank up pretty much, but you can't attack and it's not treated as an Xyz. I'm just gonna move on.
How do we get Cyber Dragon Infinity out with it?
Uh, it's any rank higher. It doesn't have to be the same attribute. So I guess you just need to make a rank 5 do with it. Make a rank
Hmm.
5 this and everything to take out and if you really want. But there are better ways to go about that. We're gonna move on to
Yeah,
oh, look at this, a level 2 thunder type. Two level
that
2.
thing's shit.
It is, yeah. You've already seen it, huh? The electrodes, the electrode
Yes,
beast, yeah.
those things are so crummy. Like they are just like so crummy. It's not even funny. Their effects are irrelevant. They're just this is the future of level twos.
Yeah, I would like it. It should be it would be better if they both pretty much summoned the other one out, even if it did restrict you to light XDs or whatever. It would still be better if uh Anion got Cathion as well. But yeah, I agree. I don't think either of these cards are good. The second effect of uh, the Electrode Beast Anion, the blue one, is not the worst card, but there's better cards if you want to draw one. We're gonna move on though, because these cards aren't interesting and they're a wall of text that pretty much says nothing. One searches the
Yeah,
one, and then the other one searches another card that is old. That's not, and then more Earthbound support. That'll probably get happy. Um, Earthbound Resonance, continuous trap card. First and second effects are hard ones per turn. If a monster or monsters special summon from the extra deck is destroyed by card effect, target one of them. Each player takes damage equal to half the attack it had on the field. And then when your Dark Synchro monster special summon the extra deck is targeted for attack, target one card on the field and destroy it. So it's meant to be just protection for your Dark Synchro monsters or your your Earthbound Synchros. It's okay. It's the problem is it's a continuous trap card. If it was a continuous spell card, there might be a better argument for it. But even then, I don't think this card is very good. It seems like a win harder or a backup plan card, and usually win harder and backup plan cards don't really have a place in competitive. You know?
casual it'll be fun. Sounds like it's kind of a fun card.
You could,
But
I guess it would be neat in like domain format. You just if your whole deck and domain centered around like summoning a dark synchro. Uh, but yeah,
makes sense.
we're gonna move on because Burn is also pretty good in domain. If you don't know what domain format is, it's singleton Yu-Gi-Oh, and you have a deck master, kind of like the Noah's Ark thing, but you don't lose. But your deck masters don't have abilities in the deck master zone, and you don't lose the game when your deck master leaves. So think of it like that.
We'll probably end up playing Domain one of these days on the channel.
Yeah. All right. Axel Brody machines exploded on AKA Axel Brody cards from the manga specifically, I believe, not from the GX anime. So Axel Brody, in case some of you forget or whatever, is the the guy who played Volcanics in the GX anime. In the manga, he played like this weird machine deck that was fire and had some pyros in it. It was like he didn't really just play Volcanics in the manga, from what I've heard. But got Electro Gunner, and I've read these cards before. Level 4 Fire Machine, 1800 attack. Uh, if it's normal or special, or if you normal special a fire monster, you special summon it from your hand, then you can send a level 8 Pyro monster from your deck to the graveyard. It is decent tech in exactly Volcanics for that, because Volcanic Emperor is pretty good. The second effect of when a spell card is activated, you can make all fire monsters you control gain 300 attack. Isn't very relevant in my honest. But the first effect is pretty cool and can allow you to do maybe some cool stuff, extension or whatever. Give the deck a little bit more viability than just I'm gonna sit here and control you and then burn and do a little incidental burn damage. But that's my opinion.
Gives you link plays.
Yeah, and if you have,
think about it.
Yeah, and I guess you could do XEs too since it's level 4. Like this card.
Ooh, it even gives you
So you can summon
it
Rocket.
extends. That could become a Digusto Emerald, which would recycle things, or you could link two effect monsters together and make an SP and just control your opponent harder.
Next card I'm going to talk about was so close to being good in Sprite. I think, at least my limited Sprite knowledge, I think it was like so close. It just needed one change and it would have been good. And that is a card called Division. Division is a fire machine, level 2, 200 attack, 200 defense. First and second effects are hard ones per turn. This is the effect I thought had potential if one thing changed. Tribute all face-up division you control. So all copies of your cards named Division. Special summon machine token. Fire level 1, 200 attack, 200 defense, up to twice number tributed. Each time one is destroyed, your opponent takes 5 damage. Card becomes banished. You target any number of tokens on the field destroyed. So I thought this card could have been good in Sprite if the tokens I had summoned was level 2. Because if they were level 2,
because you could gigantic strike them from the deck and just extend your plays.
Yep, it would be a 1 card. It would be a 1 card. Pretty much. It'd be a 1 card, just get your plays going. Just with this, you wouldn't even need another Sprite in hand, because if it was level 2, the tokens, you could just tribute it, summon 2 tokens, and then make sprint, and then go into the nimbler angle line, and summon out 2 and then make gigantic that way and get your sprite plays going like that. So it was literally a 1 card starter if the tokens had been level 2. But they're not. They're level 1, and it was so close to being good in that deck.
They knew what they were doing.
This card, I'm surprised they still printed it at all because it doesn't lock you into anything. They've been really scared about token stuff ever since Links came out, because tokens have been just like free tokens have pretty much just meant free link material, and the fact that this one monster gets you 2 just on itself could have been would definitely have been dangerous back at start of Link era, but now I'm just surprised that they did this. Because, like I said,
But I guess you could, if you were playing it as a card, I'm going to speak for a while on this. You could normal summon it, a special sprite, search something out, use its effect, tribute itself, create 2 more of them, link the token and the sprite into something else like that, or you could link the 2 tokens into another 2 and then go into gigantic to start the phase. So I mean, there's ways. It would just be forcing the card at that point. It's not as good.
you'd also have to open up the card for it to be good in sprite, as opposed to if it was level 2s, you could gigantic sprite it out and just have it be good.
Yeah.
Moving on. That was a good card to talk about, because it's something that we can actually talk sprite about, which is your bread and butter, sprites and frogs.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Next up are some Yusei cards from the manga. Synchro Creed. If a synchro monster is on the field, draw a card. If there are 3 or more synchro monsters on the field, you draw 1 more card. You can only activate this card once per turn. It's okay. I mean, it's better in Domain, where you have multiple opponents and multiple chances at it, because it doesn't say who has to control the synchro and everything. But most of the time, if they have a board full of synchros in the TCG in advanced, one of those are going to negate, and I will fall for a draw 2, negating a draw 2 almost every time. But maybe that's
that seems, yeah.
Then we got Gathering Light.
I don't know. It depends.
Okay.
Because I've had people play Pod Desires on me, and I didn't Ash Blossom it and just hit the play that they ended up, getting off of the pot. So, it's situation to situation kind of thing.
Yeah. I guess it goes back to the old discussion. What do you hit, the tutor itself or the card that they tutor for? What do you stop? Everything. And my logic, at least in Magic the Gathering, I hit the card that lets them search. Because sometimes you can't stop the card that they're gonna search. But yeah, I think the card is interesting. I think this card would have been a topic of people trying it, or more willing to try it, back in when in the synchro era itself, but I think they were just so afraid to print certain cards like this.
With good reason.
Yeah. Because, imagine, I would have probably used it back in, 2014 when I was playing Synchrons just for the fun of it. It just, you have, 2 or 3 Synchros out in the field, you play this, draw 2 more cards, and then, keep going. Allows you to keep more. Be pretty interesting. But we have another spell from Yusei called Gathering Light. It's a continuous spell. You can banish 1 monster you control and 1 power tool synchro, or 1 level 7 or 8 synchro monster in graveyard, target a card on your opponent's field, destroy it. First effect, right off the bat, it's okay. The problem is you have to banish a monster you control and a monster from your graveyard for that. If it was just like, oh, banish a monster, a synchro monster from your graveyard, I'd be like, okay, maybe. Probably not, but still maybe. Level 7 or higher synchro monsters you control gain 400 attack for banished level 7 or higher synchro. And then once per turn, if you have a banished synchro monster, when your opponent declares an attack, you can negate the turning your synchros into Grin Maju for other synchros is kind of funny, but not good. It does work. Actually, no, it says you or banish. Never mind. As I say, it does work if you banish there, but it doesn't. It's even worse. Yeah, don't think the card is good. I don't think it's even worth considering, especially because synchro spam decks really their deck lists are pretty tight. Like it's hard to find room in there for it and everything for any new cards. We have more cards to talk about? Yes, we do. I think this might be the last one.
Oh, God.
Yes, this oil. You can target up to 2 level 4 or lower fire monsters with different names in your graveyard. Add them to your hand. Oil. It's just oil. I need a stockpile of these cards. My inner American, wants me to get as much oil as possible.
Looks like Konami needs some freedom.
Yep. Oh man. Card wise, it's not bad. It's like a worth salvage, and salvage has played occasionally over the years, but salvage also has doesn't salvage also has a attack restriction, doesn't it? Like 1500 or less attack, or is it level 4 lower?
Oh yeah, 1500 or less attack. Yeah. It's 1500 or less attack. You could use it in some water decks to do some real funny stuff and recycle, but for the most part, it's awful. You played in Gradles.
It was played in Mermails for a tiny bit. It was played in Gishki. And
Well, Gishki makes sense that you would play it because you just recycle your searchers from the graveyard, and now that card goes from being a +1 in card economy, or no, yeah, basically a +1 in card economy to +1 in card economy plus look for 2 other cards in the deck that really make the game go, or have that material to be able to
ritual summon.
use.
Yeah.
Ritual summon, not use. I'm having a stroke.
Mermails, early builds of Mermails played salvage because the big Mermails themselves involved discarding a lot of cards, so they would salvage back some material.
Yeah.
And stuff like that, so it wasn't like a total loss. And then they just said, you know what, we don't need to worry about that with the Atlanteans. So, but overall, I think Oil's an okay card. With the amount of fire support that has been coming out this year, and then or next year, which is when this card will come out, it's sometime next year. For the OCG, for the TCG, I don't know when it's coming out. To be real. But I know that we're getting a search card, a card that just generically searches any pyro monster, I believe, in like February, and we're getting a lot of like fire support and pyro support, which is kind of cool because those it's one of the most under supported attributes and archetypes, I think, in general, and types. So
that's actually pretty neat. We can search out our garnets now.
Back in my day, I used to have to draw a garnet the natural way. Now I can search it out. You kids, no.
Back in my day, we used to have to draw our garnets. We hated it.
Now we can search them up, and we can hate it even more. But uh, I don't, I don't think I have too much else to talk about. Uh,
No, I think we covered most everything.
yeah. Uh, I am looking forward to seeing if the Zodiac changes. So I guess I'll wrap it up with the Master Duel. I am looking forward to see if Zodiac, if Barrage at 3, which is their continuous spell card, at 3 does anything for the deck. I am looking forward to someone who is better than I at the game, can find a way to make Dragon Rulers work. And I'm looking forward to the new Fire King structure deck, which we didn't really talk about in this video, but it should be coming out sometime this month as well. But that's going to do it for this video. If it is your birthday today, happy birthday. If you enjoy listening to this podcast, you can feel free to like, comment, possibly subscribe if it suits you. And of course, and as always, have a wonderful day.